Hi, DJ.
Hello.
Damn it.
The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
Ladies and gentlemen. Is it going to go? No. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time. It's Thursday. It's Korner Booth pregame.
You ready? No debate, cause it's all. I'm too official, got the drip, I got the sauce. Bring the proof when it's time to tell the truth. I'll be at the corner booth, find me in the corner booth, yeah. Still standing and defiant, slay the competition cause I'm walking like a giant. Bring the proof when it's time to tell the truth. I'll be at the corner booth, find me in the corner booth, corner booth.
I see might as well. Kate, I feel like I have not officially said this. I've tiptoed around it. Kate, will you marry me?
Do I have to answer now? Or?
No, you have time. You can think about it. You can think about a way to say no without hurting my feelings if you want.
Oh
Lovely.
my God.
I'll send you a letter.
Just don't even.
Alright, cool. Thank you. Shit. I'll send you my address later so you can send it to my house.
Yeah, I'm never giving you my address. I don't want you getting that close.
Oh, I know.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. It took me 3 weeks of being in hiding, and we're back. And yes, I'm wearing the same exact hat I was wearing last time because I still love my boys, even though that hurt. I'm almost 28, which is scary to think about. I'm a week out. I feel old. The NFL offseason is getting absolutely out of control, and the tampering period doesn't start till Monday. Or is it, wait, when's the DJ? You're the expert here. Is it tampering
13th.
starts Monday, and the free agency starts Wednesday?
So 13th is Monday, so I do think it's Monday.
So
sure.
a fun little I don't know if I'm sure we all remember this because I remember it. It still drives me crazy, but I don't remember how long ago it was. Maybe 3 or 4 seasons ago, the Jets signed Anthony Barr. It was like the year they got Le'Veon, C.J. Mosley, and Anthony Barr, and I was going ballistic. And then Anthony Barr pulled out. So every year I just use the reference, who's going to be the Anthony Barr of free agency? And every year since then, somebody has backed out of their deal. So I just think it'd be funny if Derek Carr was like, you know what? I don't want to be a Saint anymore. And just was like, I'm not going to sign with you guys. And then just backed out and then joined some other team. So I'm just anxious. One of the things I look forward to in free agency is who's going to be the Anthony Barr this year.
Fair. I'm excited because I was dumbfounded by Howie Roseman. He let Hargrave, Gardner Johnson, and like 8 other guys walk. And I'm like, all right, what did you see that I didn't see on tape? I know he left Hargrave go is because Hargrave's going to get $20 million from somebody. So for a D tackle, when you have Jordan Davis sitting there and a bunch of other young guys like Milton Thomas, you can go draft one or sign one for half the price. I understand that. Gardner Johnson, I'm starting to think he smells something that we're not smelling yet. Like maybe like there's a lot of busted coverages you don't see, and he just makes the big plays. Like he was a great defender, but I also remember vividly there was a lot of times during the season, maybe it's in the Super Bowl after, where he was out of position and either Slay or a bad throw bailed his ass out. And I think Howie's like, this Blankenship kid's never out of position, and he's cheaper. I'm interested. Mason, what are you excited for in this free agency period?
So also, other than if and what the Patriots do, I think, it's got to be wherever Lamar Jackson signs. Obviously the best, I would say, free agent in this class. I think we could all agree on that. It's a very interesting case. A lot of things have transpired since we were last on Monday. Let's see. So we've got the Falcons, Commanders, Dolphins, Panthers, and my Patriots are all supposedly, out. Take that however you want to. Out on, I guess even making an offer is how I'm taking that. Extremely surprising to me. Not necessarily for the Patriots, but for teams like Atlanta, Miami, Washington, right? Like I find that very surprising that these guys aren't even lobbing an offer at Baltimore or Lamar, to see if they can get a deal done. So yeah, I know Matt's kind of trying to hold out and test the waters and kind of see, look, Rodgers, Jackson, Rodgers, right, Matt? I mean,
at this point, when you have your ownership and your front office all telling you that we're going the veteran route next year, and the owner telling you we will spend and we will get what we need to get, you just kind of, it's not that like I'm expecting it. Well, I am expecting it, but when your owner comes out and says like, hey, we need to fix this and we're going to do whatever we can to get like a veteran guy, like you assume it has to be one of those. You can't do that to your fan base and then sell them on Baker Mayfield.
Or Jimmy G. So I haven't asked you, or at least I'm unaware if I did. If you had to pick, if you were Joe Douglas, who would you prefer, Lamar Jackson or Aaron Rodgers?
I would take Lamar Jackson.
Just because of the age, what kind of stands out to you, I guess?
Big thing is he's 26. He's already won an MVP in his career. He has a 45-16 win-loss record, which if you pull up, Zach Wilson and Mark Sanchez, and even maybe if you go back to Ryan Fitzpatrick and every quarterback that we've had in the last however long, you add up their career win-loss record with the Jets, it probably doesn't even equal 40. It could, I don't know, with all those guys. But like Lamar Jackson has more wins than probably 4 of the last Jets quarterbacks combined have for the team. He is a dual threat. Like I don't remember the last time the Jets have had a quarterback that could run and throw. Like I know Darnold was mobile. I know Zach Wilson's mobile, but they don't implement that into their game like Lamar Jackson does. And it's hard to stop. And that's why he wins a lot of games. But just the fact that, like I said, he's young, he's got a proven winning track record with the regular season, 45-16, and he's a former MVP. He's everything that I would want my team to have right now. And I know he's going to cost me 2 first-round picks, but I truly believe Lamar Jackson is a generational type prototype quarterback that comes around. And I would fork over the money right now. Honestly, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to make this franchise relevant. I don't want to give up $250 million guaranteed. But like I said, like everybody's saying I'm crazy for wanting Aaron Rodgers or this or that or Lamar Jackson. Look at the Jets quarterback history since Joe Namath. Just take a glance at it, look at it all, and tell me that you wouldn't do anything you could do to change this.
I will defend my co-host here. Some teams can't hit a quarterback in the draft. It is against their DNA. Some teams hit it in free agency, and that's how they get their chips. So, listen, I am all with Matt here. Go get Lamar or go get Aaron. Like, do it.
Yeah, and that's another
DJ,
point. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Matt, I love you, buddy. You're going to go all ripper. I wanted to get a comment in. I want to let Matt DJ get in because we're going to talk a lot more about this, but we're almost 10 minutes in already. I'm like, shit, he's rolling right now. Like, get out of this kid's way. But listen, DJ, what are you excited for before we get to our friends in the comment section?
So, of course, excited about Lamar. That's the big one everyone's looking forward to. I'm also curious about the pro days coming up. I know it's not free agency, but I'm going to go with Jason because I like to go off base a little bit, so I'm going to change the topic on this. But I'm looking forward to the pro days as well, too, especially with what that's going to do to draft positioning and what that's going to do with free agency as well, too. The Bears GM has said he's looking to trade that pick before free agency, which would mean like the next 100 hours. We'll see how that plays out. But if they do pull that off, that's going to change how they go through free agency a lot, as well as everybody else, too. That depends. That'll affect how they throw money around. And I think that'll affect maybe who does enter the Lamar Jackson sweepstakes as well, too, because If you agree to trade him before he signs that tender, you don't even have to give the first 2 first-round picks, for what it turns out as well, too. If you can agree with the Ravens to trade it, then talk with Lamar to sign it, you can work out a deal where you're not giving up 2 ones. So there's a way around avoiding that, too. So the fact that everyone's trying to say, no, I don't want to even talk to Lamar, I'm going to call BS. I think as soon as it's allowed, everyone's going to be lining up on his front door with roses and holding up a stereo, singing whatever they need. Like, the serenation will begin here shortly.
Okay.
I don't believe all those teams are going to be out on Lamar already.
My favorite thing about it is like Mike Greenberg today on Mac or ESPN Mac. He was like, "I can't wait. I'm ready. This is happening. Tell AJ Hawk I'll rent him out my apartment." Like this, I love that Jets fans are getting this excited because they're bringing the parallels to that guy who's suing Favre and Shannon because he's the sticky finger bandit. He can't sue me. I don't have anything to see sued over. My favorite thing about this is that Rodgers could step in tomorrow. At least one receiver is going to follow him there. You have Garrett Wilson, Elijah Moore. You have decent tight ends. You have great run. You have a stable of decent young running backs and a defense who wants to punch you in the mouth. They win the AFC East outright next year if Rodgers goes there, because they'll listen. Here's the thing.
You got to pump the brakes on that for me, dude.
Problems. Unless the Bills fix their bringing problems because the problems they had killed them. They need a running back. They need offensive line help. And they're going to lose like half their defense in free agency, including Jordan Poyer. So, like, the Jets are sitting there like, please. If they get Lamar, I'm even more terrified. But Aaron Rodgers, like, that's a division winner. They're probably going to get still smoked by Cincy or Kansas City. But they're still like maybe the third or fourth best team in the AFC instead of top 10 drafting or mid-teens or low teens at this point. I don't know. It's interesting. Yes, Chet, I don't know if anybody else is tonight. I am having a double dry hop, double IPA because my life is going insane. I just realized I have not renewed my license yet, and it's expiring in a week. Oh, I'm hoping AAA comes up clutch for me or else I'm in trouble. But, yeah, nice double dry hop IPA by Nod Hill over here in Connecticut. So solid. I did find an exclusive stout. Our boy Scotty Kaiser loves this series, and because I've been bragging about it for months. But this is the Midnight Snack series. This is a peanut butter and chocolate stout with marshmallows and caramel. It is 14% alcohol, brewed in bourbon barrels, and I am ecstatic. And it's probably the next thing I'm drinking. This might kill me, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I would even pump the brakes a little bit. I mean, I'll say the division will be wide open for anybody's taking, but I'm not going to jump the gun and say that we're winning this thing outright right now. But I mean, I'll take at least 10 wins right now just to squeak into the playoffs and see the damage that we can do. But I would assume right now, obviously, that I think Woody Johnson's controlling a lot of this. I think he likes Rodgers, and I think that if Rodgers says, I'm going to retire, I'm going to stay in Green Bay, the shifting of attention will go towards Lamar. Lamar's situation's interesting, so there's a lot of speculation out there. A lot of reports from unverified people that subscribe to the Twitter check, and a lot of reports from people that have the verified account that don't pay for it that contradict the other reports. I'm almost not surprised about Washington not being in on Lamar if that's true, because they're always bargain shoppers with the quarterback. Kirk Cousins was like a 4th-round pick. They milked that as long as they could. Carson Wentz cost them just whatever they got him for. Then you roll with Heineke, they're endorsing a little. They're not endorsing completely Sam Howell, but they're pretty much saying like he's our quarterback in camp. We'll see what happens, kind of thing. But I feel like teams don't want to give up probably $250 million guaranteed, and then also give up 2 first-round draft picks for the guy. But I also think this is a smart tactic on the Ravens' end because they're letting other teams set the market for Lamar, and I think owners around the league don't want to do that. I saw reports saying they're like, why offer him a contract when the Ravens general manager is going to match whatever it is? So I think they're looking to see if somebody's going to give him a contract that's got under $250 million guaranteed. And they're looking at that like, all right, cool. I can now, I'll match that because I don't have to pay you all that money. But I think at the end of the day, Lamar is going to stay in Baltimore unless the Ravens really are serious about not wanting to pay him that kind of a money. So we'll see what happens with that. But I think all signs are pointing towards he's going to have to at least probably stick it out another year.
Yeah, I would agree. I just feel like, look, I mean, in all honesty, the Deshaun Watson contract should have never happened. Deshaun Watson, I don't know. It's still uncertain whether or not he can kind of, return to that top 5 quarterback form that he was in Houston. I'm sure he's capable. Who knows? I don't know. Taking a year off is a long time, right? Not playing in the NFL for an entire season can absolutely have devastating effects, particularly on a quarterback, the most important player on the field. So yeah, I completely agree, Matt. The Ravens are sort of doing this, at least the front office is thinking to themselves, their tactic has to be, this is going to give Lamar the opportunity to, go and see what his offers are and realize that no one's going to give you, more than 230, 240 million fully guaranteed. That's just not going to happen. Josh Allen is not making that much. Joe Burrow's not making that much. And I would say that Lamar is kind of in that category, right? I would probably say those 2 quarterbacks are better than him, but those are sort of guys that you would compare him to, right? Obviously, Mahomes' contract is like otherworldly, but so is his play, so it makes sense. But there's just no way. I mean, there's no way that any team is going to sell their soul for, as big of a Lamar fan as I am, for a guy who's run first, right? Because I mean, just statistically, you look at quarterbacks who run first, they get injured a whole lot more than guys who hang in the pocket and take hits and throw. And that leads to shorter NFL careers. So no one, I feel like, given the sort of play style of Lamar, is willing to commit, 4 or 5 years of fully guaranteed money and make him the highest paid, guaranteed money player in the NFL. I mean, I just don't see that happening. So yeah, I think he's got it. He ends up staying in Baltimore for 1 more year and then probably goes somewhere else. But I don't think anything happens between now and the beginning of the season. I think he has until week 10 to field offers, I believe. So I don't think anything happens between now and then in terms of him getting the money that he's seeking. I just don't see that happening.
Surprised nobody thought about giving him a Mahomes-like contract where it is over 9-10 years. I know no one's going to give him 250 million guaranteed in 5 years, but he's 26 years old. I mean, he's a child right now. He can barely rent a car. At this point, you can give him an 8-year contract, and he's going to be 34. So he'll be at the very back end of his career. He'd have to basically be like Mike Vick at the back of half of his career, who was still throwing 80-yard lasers to Deshaun Jackson at that point. So I think you can give Lamar an 8-year contract and get him those guarantees, but spread it out along the way. Then you restructure it as you go, do all that weird cap manipulation BS the Saints have somehow managed to do the entire last decade. That makes no sense. Like, there's a way to make this happen if they want.
It's so weird, right? So I was thinking about this when I was driving home. I was driving through town trying to get home to my brother. I was helping me move a couch this morning, so I paid him a beer because I'm a good brother-in-law like that. I'm like, hey, here, I'm not gonna pay you, but you drove across the river to come home and move a couch. Here's a 4-pack of good IPAs. I was thinking about this because I was listening to McAfee and I'm driving home and I'm getting pissed off because I'm in traffic. And they were talking about because there's like 3 quarterbacks who all could get extensions this offseason on top of 2 on top of Jackson. You have Burrow and Hurts that are and Herbert all are up for extensions, right? The Herbert one is the one most under the radar. Burrow and Hurts have been talked about a lot. I have a weird feeling the 3 of them could all get Mahomes-like deals with a back out at the end for the team or the player where, like, I don't know, the last 2 years of the deal can be opted out or something like that. Like they did that with, I believe, not Taysom Hill. They did it with another quarterback, but I feel like a long-term contract for a lot of these franchise quarterbacks might be the move because they know they got to pay them a ridiculous amount of money because Jimmy Haslam's a fucking idiot. But I think they still want to be able to not fuck their teams over. Now, Burrow, Hurts, I feel like would take more of a deal where it's more incentive or more signing bonus based, so they help their team. They can help their team salary cap because they don't live under a rock. They understand if your team is loaded on cap with your contract, you're screwed. You got to make sure your team always hits in the draft. Now, I don't know about Herbert. I feel like Herbert's smart enough for it. I feel like Lamar just wants guaranteed money. The poor bastard's been like getting screwed by Baltimore forever. Lamar's situation is different. Deshaun Watson did not deserve any guaranteed money. All that shit should have been incentive based, or like should have been you play X amount of games you get paid, because he didn't earn it at all. He had 2 good seasons. Everyone's kissing this man's ass like he's the next great Randall Cunningham like quarterback, and he looked like absolute ass cheeks when he got on the field.
He signed an extension with Houston and never played a down on it, then got a new extension when he got traded. Like, think about how crazy that is. He signed an extension that was supposed to kick in after that 2020 season and never played a down on it.
Can we also talk about the fact that Deshaun might be one of the most overrated quarterbacks? Because he's good when he's good, but
I mean,
he's a basket case.
Record.
To be fair, I mean, kind of like I said earlier in the show, you know, there was a point in time where I think people, you know, no higher than 5, but I think there were people out there, I mean, including me, who were saying this guy is top 5. He's a top 5 quarterback in the league. And look, you know, this was before the rise of Josh Allen. This was before Joe Burrow was in the league. This was before guys like Herbert. So at that point, what? You've got Mahomes, you've got Watson, Rodgers, Lamar, you know, guys like that. So when you take that into account, I don't think it's that illogical. But look, I mean, we're here 3 seasons later. It's going to be 4 at the beginning of this season. And like I said, I mean, I just feel like all of the sideshow, you know, mess that he was going through, and then to boot, you know, everything that was going on with the Texans, you know, the friction of them basically saying, look, we will literally pay you to not step foot anywhere near our facility until you get cleared of your charges. And then whenever you do that, we're moving you, because there's no way you're walking back into this facility because you're just like a weird dude. Like, and you just totally screwed us over.
Yeah, sure.
So look, I mean, yeah, in summary, the contract still should have never happened. He should have never, ever, ever gotten that sort of guaranteed money. I mean, it's insane. Like,
I'm still blown away by the compensation that they got for a guy that didn't play for a year.
Oh, yeah.
And then for him to have the stats he had when he came back.
How many, so for how many years do the Texans own Cleveland's first rounder?
This year and next year plus last year, I believe. So I believe it's 3 total ones. So the Browns are picking him round 1 till 2026 with their own pick list.
And they might have a quarterback who's just straight up not good.
Like, best case scenario, you mortgage the future for a weirdo. Like, that's kind of the best case scenario. And every team that was lining up for him last year, looking at you, Atlanta Falcons, you were willing to move heaven, earth, the stars, all the way to planet Hoth and a galaxy far, far away to get him. And now you won't even say, hey, Lamar.
References.
It's like, hey, what's going on, Lamar? You won't even say hi. You sent out several press releases saying we will not talk to him. Like,
right. We're not even interested was the you know, kind of vibe, right, DJ? Like it was just like immediately after they put the tag on him, it was like not even hours later. It's like Commanders, Falcons, totally out. We won't even talk to this dude. Which that, you know, that's a whole another ball of wax, but I feel like that in and of itself, it's just weird, right? Like it's weird that all these teams so quickly are just basically saying we're out. Like we will not even like field and talk to this guy about anything.
My co-host Kelsey made a fun point about the Commanders. They should be all in on this because Dan Snyder, you're selling the team anyway. So this only works out for you because you mortgage everything you get him. He's a hero. Washington's relevant again. People remember you for that instead of all your other Dan Snyder-isms, the mess that he's been as an owner. If it fails, if it's a travesty, you screwed them over on the way out. So it's a nice on your way out the door. So it's either way, a wins or in. So he should be all in on trying to make this happen.
I'm trying to think of that cartoon where the guy's going like this. Oh, it's SpongeBob when he's just doing the finger guns out the door. That's Dan Snyder. Either way, he comes off on top.
And if it works, you give him with scary Terry McLaurin and that defensive line too, and Jahan Dotson, some of those weapons. It's better than what he's had in Baltimore, minus the tight end spot. Yeah. And you got Brian Robinson in the backfield, that defensive line, and you got something to work with there. So Washington should be all in. Atlanta, you don't get any leeway after chasing a pervert last year. and trying to move everything in the world to get him, there's too many teams who have already been out on it. Indianapolis, you can restructure some contracts and go say hi. I mean, there's a lot of teams that should at least.
I want you guys to draft fucking what is it? AR so bad.
I hope not.
I mean, DJ, I honestly feel like Chicago should literally be saying, hey, like, just like talk to him, see what the ballpark is, right? Because you've got draft picks, you've got a guy like Fields that we know is obviously limited in the passing game. He can run very, very well. Extremely, extremely athletic player. But I mean, the Bears would be lying to themselves if they didn't admit that even at Justin Fields' peak, if he lived up to everything that he was supposed to be, he's going to be hamstringed in the passing game for sure. So it's like, Texans, Cowboys, like there's so many other teams. I mean, there are more teams that should be, taking a flyer and hitting up the Ravens than teams that should not be. You know what I mean? So it's weird.
Teams that should at least be like, hi, what's good? Like,
exactly.
The worst case scenario is you're right back where you started. If he's like, no, I'm not giving you that much money, or I'm not giving up that much to get you, at least say what's up. Like,
yeah, right,
maybe like
exactly. Like
Bengals, those teams obviously not, but teams,
right.
Most of those other teams, they should at least just say what's good.
Right.
See, the biggest thing to me is, go Mace.
Yeah, I mean, if the guy's asking for absurd money, now you can let your friends know, and it's just like, what was bad about that? What was bad about it? Like, now that this dude wants $300 million guaranteed, right, or something absurd, right? Maybe he doesn't want that much. Maybe he wants $275, and you can just say, "Yep, we're not interested. Best of luck." But at least you know that you tried, right?
At least take a flyer, throw it out there. Maybe you never know.
One thing I was thinking about this is, DJ, you and me have been doing this at Belly for what? I've been here for 4.5 years, almost 5. You've been here for what? Almost 3 years now?
About 2, yeah.
You've been doing mock drafts for how much longer, even when you were with Unhinged? Like
my life. Going back, it's been a long time. Yeah.
I was thinking about this after we got off because me, Matt, Mason, we were talking about me, Matt, and Mason on the show. We talked about our mock draft. We all kind of had our quarterback rankings very similar, right? 1, all of us had Stroud. 2 was Young. 3 was AR, and 4 was Mr. Mayonnaise in the coffee. And our wild card sleepers, mine, I love Hendon Hooker. I think he's going to be an amazing quarterback if he sits for a year or two, maybe gets a Dak Prescott kind of opportunity where his quarterback gets a back injury or something like that. And, I think that's the perfect situation. So, I don't know, if Russ completely fucking loses his mind in Denver, or Geno is booty cheeks in Seattle, or maybe Tua gets his head cracked open in Miami. Oh, there's this Hendon Hooker kid who's as tough as nails, is a more polished Dak Prescott. Boom, you're done. It's good. We're straight. So I don't know, this quarterback thing is going to be weird because there's guys we're not even talking about right now. Jimmy G, nobody's mentioned him. Tannehill's going to get cut as of what? I think
Tennessee said they were keeping him. Actually, they said they were planning on rolling.
Stupid because they honestly, I don't know why they're hanging on to that dead cap.
Throw Malik out there. If he's trash, you pick Drake May or someone else next year. If he's great, cool.
Okay, so I love Drake May's game. I worry about nothing. Actually, I was thinking about. I'm like, was it Drake May who I was worried about? No, it's not. It's the kid at Wake Forest.
Oh
he's transferring for Notre Dame.
Yeah.
So. I hate the Fighting Irish if you haven't figured that out by now. I don't know, man. When I look at this draft class, my mock draft, I'm going to do one right before free agency, and I'm going to do one afterward because I was talking to my uncle, big Raiders fan, right? Like diehard Raiders fan, always watches the show. He said, "What are the Raiders doing at quarterback?" And I'm like, "Oh, CJ Stroud. That's what I think they should do." And he goes, "A rookie?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Come on, did we learn this from Jamarcus Russell?" I'm like, I'm sorry, CJ Stroud is not even close to. I'm like, my pro comp for him is like Aaron Rodgers-esque. Like watching his mechanics, the throwing ability, the decision making, the ability to improvise, but not like say, fuck it, I'm running for this. Aaron Rodgers-esque, kind of the way he moves the ball. Like when I watch CJ Stroud, I'm like, this dude is going to beat me. It's not the team that's going to beat me. This quarterback is going to beat me with CJ Stroud.
That's a good one for CJ Stroud. Mine actually has been the one everyone's trying to compare Bryce Young to. I look at him, I see Drew Brees a little bit too. The way where he puts the ball, the exact touch on it too. Not a rocket arm, but he can touch any point of the field. Not, as you mentioned, he's mobile, but he's not running and killing you with his legs unless you're Georgia out of nowhere that no one sees coming. But a young Drew Brees was scooting as well too. The accuracy, the ball placement, the timing. I think CJ Stroud's got a lot of Drew Brees, just a little bit taller, just as far as most of that ball placement and the timing and the accuracy. But I like the Aaron Rodgers one too. I think maybe a little bit less arm strength, which isn't an insult because Aaron Rodgers can still sling it with the best of them.
Aaron Rodgers in his prime had a fucking howitzer on his shoulder.
And he
The
throws
other
it
one I said,
easy looking too.
Mays got one, but I was gonna say, here's the other thing. AR to me is a hybrid of a raw Cam Newton and Vince Young.
I think he's a little over. I think there's a lot to work with there in a similar way, but I think if he goes top 4, he's going to disappoint some people. I think he'd be better going a little bit later.
I think to your Colts because of the O-line, the big receivers and tight ends, and the running game. I think it's a perfect fit because he doesn't have to win games with you guys.
I want CJ Stroud, so I don't want that. I want CJ Stroud.
He's not. Listen, because Jim Irsay doesn't think logically. We know this, DJ. Come on.
I'm hoping he gets overruled by everybody else. I'm hoping it is a conglomerate effort.
He pays the bills. He gets the overruling of all overrulings.
I'm hoping that people are overruling. That's why Jeff Saturday is not still the coach. I'm hoping there's a conglomerate army that has taken over to at least balance it out.
All right. Mace has been chomping at the bit in the corner. Mace, what do you got for me?
Well, so just to briefly touch on Stroud, and then we can pivot to AR. But I think the frame too. If you watch the combine on Saturday, Stroud and Richardson were kind of hanging around, so you got some good shots of them up next to each other. And I want to say AR is like 6'4", 240, and I mean Stroud did not look that much smaller than him. Maybe a couple inches, but I mean, frame wise, he had a similar sort of build. He's just as tall. And I kind of feel like you give AR a couple years, 1, 2, whatever it might be, in the right system, he could end up being what Stroud is now, plus the running ability. I mean, I think, we all probably agree with the take of AR has the most upside of any of these quarterbacks for sure, simply because of the raw ability that this dude has. I mean, blazing fast, big arm, can make the freak plays, can make the Allen throws, the Mahomes throws, all of that. He checks all the boxes, but he's just so raw, like you look at the tape from Florida last year, and, as I kind of said on Monday, all of the hard stuff he makes look really easy, but all of the easy stuff he makes look really hard. And I think that's the thing that teams are most likely kind of still iffy about, because if none of that existed, I mean, this dude would probably be going number 1 overall, right? I mean, and Florida would have been a whole lot better. But you can't ignore the tape, right? You really can't ignore the tape, because it's when you turn it on, it's glaring. Like, some of the stuff is bad.
I will say, if you're one of the teams, you can't trade up for him. Like what it takes to get to number 1, I don't think you can give up that much to get him, considering he played 17, 18 college games. Like that's Trey Lance level territory. And we've seen how that's been a little bit shaky so far. That's why if he falls to you and the other guys go, take a shot on him. But I don't think you can't trade 3 first-round picks with the Bears to go get Anthony Richardson, because then, as Jared mentioned, you're in a spot where he basically has to be that dude. He has to win games. You can't.
Exactly. And the timetable in which you need him to be that guy becomes smaller. If he falls to a team like
the Raiders.
Right, the Raiders. Is Carolina at 9?
They're at 9, so
yes.
So he falls to Carolina. Carolina needs a quarterback now But if you were to go, fall all the way to 9, Carolina doesn't trade up, like we're saying, that's perfect. He can sit for a year behind Jimmy G or someone, and learn, and then that sort of timetable it gets bigger because you have more time to play around with it. Carolina's not going to go win the Super Bowl next year, whether they take AR or if they go get Jimmy G or someone else. Like, that's just not going to happen. So, I mean, if I was the Patriots GM, I'd be checking out AR. Like, I would be absolutely, like, really thinking hard. If he falls to us at 14, man, why not?
Mason is literally trying to put this so hard in the universe. He literally saying it.
Dude,
And,
I fell in love, man.
It's like me trying to say, I hope the Rams are dumb enough to give us less than a first for Jalen Ramsey. It's like I'm just speaking it into existence right now. Or
I have this delusional take where we get, Richardson, DeAndre Hopkins, Ramsey, and like we still somehow like keep the first round, just like this like ridiculous like
he's
scenario
playing Madden
in my head.
GM, guys. That's what happened.
Something interesting comment on that, what you were just saying. So while you guys were talking, I did see something on Twitter. So it is from a guy that subscribes to the check mark, but he's a former receiver on the Colts. I think it was. It's Eric Shun. He might have been practice squad. But he's a former Colts receiver, and he's a radio personality for ESPN. So I feel like it's a lot more credible than a generic person like us that pays for the check mark. He's saying that the Raiders and the Patriots are actively engaged in talks about trying to send Mac Jones to the Raiders. He's saying, if it's all true, that the asking price is too high on the Patriots end, but they're determined of trying to get something done, which it just, makes sense with the ties with everybody. But it would be interesting for, let's say that happens and it involves the Raiders pick and, the Patriots give up whatever they have to give up plus Mac Jones to get into that point. Whoever the Patriots take at that point, I'm sure they wouldn't take AR at number 4, but it would be very scary if they were to take Stroud or anybody like that. But so that'd be a very interesting turn of events for those two teams. AR wise, best way to put it, like we were all saying, he's a long-term stock investment. He's somebody that you pick. He is somebody that I think a team should draft that has a veteran in place that can play for at least 1 to 2 seasons. Like, let's just say he slips to 9 or to the 7 to the Raiders. And one of the Raiders or the Colts, or not the Colts, sorry, the Raiders or the Panthers, whoever he falls to, if it's top 10, let's say they have Jimmy Garoppolo. They sign him for like a 1-year deal. I would sit Anthony Richardson behind him for that year or two and see what he's got in 2024 or 2025. Because that guy, in my opinion, that guy has a high ceiling of boom if it were to pay off. It's just he has to go to the right team that has a track record of being able to develop rookie quarterbacks. That's teams like the Jets, like the Commanders that don't have that history. I'm not trying to say they do. The teams like that don't have that history of being able to develop quarterbacks, like rookie quarterbacks, you don't want to go to those teams. But if you were to go somewhere with a team that's got somebody in place for the year or two that can show you the ropes, can build you up, like a Green Bay. They worked out with, I mean, I know they didn't draft Favre, they acquired Favre, but it worked out with Rodgers, and maybe it'll work out with Jordan Love. Like the Chiefs, I know they don't need Anthony Richardson because obviously they have Patrick Mahomes, but just teams like that have track records of being able to build some of these quarterbacks up. He would be perfect there, but he's not going to have a great career if he goes somewhere like the Commanders or like the Jets or things like that, and they just start right away. It's going to be a fucking shit show of a situation, like a Trubisky kind of thing where he has an up and down years and then he just becomes like utter just garbage.
If he does play right away, whoever takes him, hopefully they have like a Brian Dabble or a Brian Callahan or like a QB that nobody knows about yet that they could do like what we saw with Josh Allen and that type of thing as well. Too. Just someone who can you're gonna make your mistakes. It's gonna be rough, but at least there's clear growth to that point. So like by year 3, it's like, oh, what do you know? MVP caliber guy. Who would have thought, right? And then it suddenly takes the world by storm. But it's a very quarterbacks, but they all have question marks. And same with Will Levis. Whoever takes him. Hopefully you got it. Hopefully you got a quarterback coach like that.
Also, hopefully you have stock in Hellman's too.
That too, yeah, exactly. Because he could very easily go that Josh Allen direction, or he could be like post getting speared by Jadeveon Clowney, Carson Wentz, and be a complete train wreck. So I think both of those guys, it really depends where they go, where they could be sky high to all those traits, freaky aliens, or they're just guys that are really fun and mad. So I think those two, I'm really curious where they go. The right team, it's going to be great, but I think it feels like it's Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, a little bit of gap, the guys who are very boom or bust with those two. And then Hendon Hooker right there, who I think will be a solid starter.
It's a very unrealistic situation, but if the Niners were to bring Garoppolo back or whoever they were to bring back, and they moved up and they drafted Richardson or Will Levis, that'd be a perfect scenario, in my opinion, for them to sit behind somebody like that for a year or so, then to start up. But that's not going to happen.
Not going to happen.
They are unrealistic, but a situation like that, but that's not realistic.
Exactly.
Okay, first of all, Jimmy G and Shanahan fucking hate each other reportedly. Two, they have to let this Trey Lance thing play out. And also they have Big Brock Purdy. I'm not going to use his full name because that's a ripoff of Nick Foles' name. Nick Foles won a damn championship. Brock got killed by Hassan Reddick. There's a difference.
I wonder what they do with that situation.
The best situation for AR, if he's going to start right away, the best situation is, like I said, the Colts, because they have a situation where he will struggle. They're going to be an 8-9, 9-8 team, but they will win games because – What did you say?
I was saying, but the trajectory is up. You will see.
The trajectory is a missile launcher because Shane Steichen wrote a good offense for Jalen Hurts. And imagine Jalen Hurts, but with a better arm, more speed, a little less decision-making ability, and a little less leadership. So far, I'm not going to give – listen, AR could be like Jalen Hurts on steroids. I'm not even sure. So, or he could be just Vince Young 2.0. We don't know. But here's the thing. There's a lot of stuff going forward. And if he gets drafted, gets to sit, I agree with Mace, where it's like he gets to go to a team where it's like he gets to sit for a year. Like even the Patriots gets drafted, sits there. Bill says, hey, Mac, play for your fucking job. See what happens.
Play for your NFL career, dude.
He'll find a job somewhere. He's a serviceable enough quarterback. He'll find a job. And now there's 3 decent football. I'm sorry, 2.5. I consider the XFL, I know the USFL a half a decent league. I'm an XFL guy. DJ, I still haven't picked a team yet. Maybe you could help me.
Seattle Sea Dragons is the way. There's a bake show going on in Seattle, and Josh Gordon's back there. It's the Seattle Sea Dragons is the only way to go.
Oof. I mean, because I'm a big Vegas Vipers guy because I love their backup quarterback with the visor. A white boy with a visor. Give me some Anthony Gonzalez vibes.
Ben DiNucci's out there slinging it though.
Ben DiNucci. Now listen, as an Eagles fan, I can't wholeheartedly root for that fucking Italian douchebag, but I'll try to keep my shit straight. I do like the Arlington Renegades because they got big bad Bob Stoops, and they also play in the Ranger Stadium. Listen, my favorite stadium to play in MLB The Show exhibition was always the Rangers because that ballpark is just gorgeous. But we'll talk XFL in a little bit because DJ, of course, you talk to your boy Zach all the time. He's the XFL expert here at Belly Up affiliate, I guess at this point. Adjacent.
Did you guys hear about this this Texans draft pick stuff?
Yes.
Oh, this is hysterical. Matt, you want to roll with this? Is all you, kid.
So Adam Schefter put something out a few hours ago. So it's funny he says sources when we all know Adam Schefter is the GOAT of sources, but NFL is taking a 5th-round pick from the Texans and fining them $175,000, which is probably equivalent to about $20 for them. But for what the league believes is a salary cap violation and what Houston believes is an accounting error that dates back to Sean Watson's training during COVID. So they lose. It's kind of funny. It's like they lose. They still getting repercussions for this guy. They just got fined $175,000. They lose a draft pick because their fucking accountant fucked something up during his probably massage sessions, logging that shit. So they lose a draft pick, and they lose their draft picks, and then you got the compensatory draft picks that were all awarded out, and I believe 7 of them went to the Niners, including 3/3. That's insane. 3rd-round picks are, especially if you need things like a running back or a tight end, those are so valuable. So that's going to be huge if they want to take somebody behind McCaffrey or behind Kittle.
See, I'm excited because our Monday guest, I'm hoping he's up for talking and running back draft stock. We're going to have to do that before he gets on the show. But I can't wait to talk about me and Mason's boy, Jahmyr Gibbs, a.k.a. Alvin Kamara with a 5th gear. Dude, that boy could move.
Oh yeah.
And you know what? DJ, I don't know. You're a film guy like me. You'll appreciate this. I got to watch about maybe 45 minutes of game tape on him. I think it was Saturday or Sunday because I watched Bijan first, obviously, because he's the one that like every mock draft has had the Eagles taking him if they go get a running back early. Because he kind of fits the Sirianni way of just absolutely smash the rock down your throat and then yeet it to AJ or Devontae. I almost said DJ and Avante, and I was like, oh no, wrong guys. Dude, Jahmyr Gibbs to me, it's like watching Adrian Peterson back when he was younger before he got like the pop in his shoulder pads where he would just hit a gear and just accelerate effortlessly by like guys who ran 4.3s. Like that kind of game speed you can't teach.
Yeah,
I never knew who this guy was. And I watched him at Georgia Tech and I thought, oh, he's just a fast running back. I'm on the Vineyard with Kevin. Kevin is, of course, the longtime Alabama fan, right? I'm like, who the fuck is this dude running down the sideline? He goes, oh, that's Jahmyr Gibbs. We got him from Georgia Tech. And I'm like, Kev, it looks like Usain Bolt running by these boys right now. Like, what the shit? So I'm thinking like this. I won't say Alvin Kamara. I'm just seeing CJ2K. Like this dude is moving.
So he just has a weird ability. Like even if he's just running fast enough to never get caught. If that makes sense. Like
wiggle.
It's changing. Like
that's what he's got. He's got wiggle.
It's like D'Angelo Williams, but cranked up on Mountain Dew or something like that. Like it's good luck catch. It's so weird watching him run.
That's my dog, man.
Like just nobody ever seems to catch him. No matter the angle, they could be in front of him. They could be beside him. It could be a guy who runs 4.5, a guy who runs 4.3. But he always seems to keep the same amount of distance to get away from. I think not a first round pick, but early second round, someone's going to go grab him. They might even trade up to go get him too.
See, if you want my honest God opinion, what's going to happen? I think he's either going to be an Eagle or like a Chief, or not a Chief, or Eagle or like what's another team that just would love a running back like that? I mean, maybe San Diego
on James Cook, but
the Bengals. Yeah, the Bills. But I think the Bills.
Joe Mixon keeps getting into
Tampa
weird.
Bay.
Yeah. I mean, the Bungles, yeah. The Bungles, hey, listen, we're about to talk about that, man, in about 30 seconds, so we'll keep that shit together. Hey, Bryce, what are we talking about?
Bryce, that's a clown question, bro.
Ladies and gentlemen, brought to you by the amazing people at YeatsOfficial.com. Promo code Corner Booth for 10% off. Clown of the week. We got some great people today. First off, DJ brought it up. This dude is playing no Nerf guns instead of no Russia or no Russian. I butchered the hell out of that. Anybody who's a Call of Duty fan understands that reference. Dude shot a 13-year-old outside of his house.
Allegedly.
I'm
not trying to get sued.
I'm not. Yeah, I know. Brett Favre's out here trying to sue everybody. Listen. Y'all know the game. I rip into somebody. You defend them or shit on them. These three guys, if you defend them, you better come correct because these are some three amazing human beings this week. So, Joe Mixon, apparently some neighborhood kids were having a Nerf war outside of his house. Listen, as one of those kids who used to get into those Nerf wars, I know how intense those get, man. But we graduated from Nerf wars to airsoft guns by the time we were 13. So I'm a little confused right now. Also, I didn't know Nerf guns shot that far either way. This whole story seems fucking weird. The fact that Joe Mixon, didn't he get busted for a gun thing like 2 months ago?
I thought that was
he got something happened to him.
I thought that was like
happened where there was a gun.
Violence.
Sheriff's guys.
I think it might have been a domestic.
Which leads me to also mention, I feel like, I don't know if you guys forgot about this, but, I love the guy because he's a fellow Sooner. But, we can all remind ourselves of the video that came out when he was here.
Freaking Mike Tyson, the girl in the middle of a Chick-fil-A. Come on.
Well, no, it was a restaurant here over by the bars, kind of like in the bar district. And yeah, if you have not seen that video, viewer discretion advised. But I mean, it's bad. And so it's like, this guy he's had a history of these, very violent incidents. So, the fact that this is happening for the second time in less than like 6 months, It's just like, I mean, I think we kind of know what type of dude this guy is, right?
Oh yeah.
Which is really unfortunate because I mean he's one of the best running backs in the league, but hey man, just because he's got money doesn't mean that he becomes a different person, right?
I look at this and I'm like, Joe, come on, man. Like,
yeah, you got to be smarter, man.
Dude, he's getting paid so much money. Like, he's an instant cut. Like, I don't think he's doing prison time. This ain't like I mean, then
if they
again,
convict him, yeah.
I also said we all knew Henry Ruggs was going to be doing prison time, but apparently, off of a technicality, he might be playing the NFL next year.
I don't know who's gonna.
Insane that Ruggs might get off because of a technicality.
Cowboys going to take that flyer on.
What's the technicality?
Dallas or freaking Oakland? No, not Oakland. Sorry, Dallas or Cincy's gonna be like, hey, we got to cut Tyler Boyd. Fuck it, we're gonna go get the fastest guy in the league. Literally.
Dude, and speaking, okay, so I don't know if you guys have heard about this, but speaking of Bengals players getting into trouble, did you guys hear the Jamar Chase fiasco?
Yeah, his ex-girlfriend or whatever is
just like, basically saying, he's not, they had a kid together, supposedly, allegedly, I don't know. And that he's just not paying the child support, I guess. And he's basically just like, not my kid, not going to pay child support for a kid that's not mine. And now it's going to court. And like last night on Twitter, Instagram, like his baby mama was just like dropping pictures, dropping text messages, DMs. Like, if you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's a weird situation, and maybe this is what Bengals have had a pretty nice run over the past 2 years, but maybe this is something that kind of does them in. Because I mean, losing a guy like Jamar, I don't know how they would theoretically lose him, but losing both those guys would be major.
I will say it looks like the update with the Joe Mixon thing is that looks like they're saying the two suspects involved, and neither one of them is Joe Mixon right now. So at least right now, it looks like he's not the one.
I saw is like one of like
very
the
unfortunate
suspects.
location. Yeah, so it looks like the two suspects aren't him. He's just unfortunately happens to be right out in front of your house, so you kind of got drug into that one. But at the same time, he can't help but find himself. His name always seems to pop up with something. It feels like it feels like there's always something where his name pops up. This one feels like it's not his fault, but it smells like a duck. It quacks like a duck. You're not gonna tell me it's a mongoose at this point. So it's like his name comes up a whole lot.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody defending Joe Shoot here? Also, by the way, Jamar Chase, I'm going to give you some advice, my dog, that a friend of mine gave me a long time ago when he was in a custody dispute. Get a DNA test or shut the fuck up.
Yeah, you got plenty of money, man. Just, just pay her. Like, if it's your kid, whatever. Like,
yeah, you got money, bro. Relax. No, right. Listen, like my boy who did this shit, he was making the same amount as I was. It was like 17 an hour. Dude looks at his baby moms and goes, "We're doing a DNA test. I ain't paying no more alimony." It comes back. The girl was lying the entire time. He goes and he sues her. He actually got back pay on it. I was blown away. Listen. He said it to me. He goes, "Jared, if it ever happens to you, get the DNA test." I'm like, bro, I ain't going to be messing with females that you mess with. I'm going to chill. This woman was a nightmare. I met her twice in my life, and I was like, God, get me the fuck out of this room. Speaking of which, a person who pays rent on this segment, ladies and gentlemen, John Morant. God, it's like every other week I do this freaking show. Wait, hold on. Guys, I'm going back. The last 3 live shows we did, the one the week after Super Bowl and Super Bowl week, he was on that show. John, what are you doing?
I'll be the first to talk about it. It's just unfortunate, man, because, I mean, if you put all the stuff off the court aside, I mean, if you don't enjoy watching this dude play, I don't know what to tell you, man. He's an amazing player to watch. So much potential. One of the budding, really good young stars in the NBA, and it's just like, dude, you have to be smarter. You simply have to be smarter. I don't know if your background, what it is. It doesn't really matter, but it's like when you're as high profile of a personality or star or however you want to think about it, as he is, like, I don't know why, like, what went through your mind when you just impulsively went on IG Live and you're just like flashing Glocks? What,
Okay.
why is that just your immediate reaction?
I said this. Okay. I don't make it a secret. I'm very pro 2A. I may or may not own some pew-pews, right? And what separates me from John Morant besides an NBA contract, me fucking showing my shit all over this crap? Dude, like, I think Shannon Sharp said it best. Dude, what are you doing? Like, you are worth so much money. And the fact that, like, they can match up how much of a clown you are to an Eminem diss from 8 Mile is horrifying. The fact that you get your advice from fucking, like, Dylan Brooks, who is literally looks like God, he looks like Stone Cold's weird little weird adopted brother with that vest on. Hey guys, it's almost 3:16, by the way. Day before my birthday, man. We got our next show 3:16, man. Hell yeah. Oh, I can't wait. So I'm gonna break a rule, boys. Next week is going to be, yes, it's my birthday episode. Which I hope all 4 of you will be here for that. But also it's because I'm going to be drinking nothing but Stone Cold Steve Austin's beer if I can get a hold of it. Because it's 3:16. But dude, like with Ja, it's just, it cracks me up how dumb this dude is. He is one of the few players in the league where I look at him like, oh my God. Like, the way I look at KD, LeBron, AI when he played, Kobe, Kevin Garnett.
He's a showstopper, man.
He's it.
Yes.
It's the way I'm starting to look at my boy AE right now. Shout out to my boy Kelsey for doubting him. Anthony Edwards, all I had to do was get that bitch ass cat out of the way. It's like these showstoppers, these dudes who like showstoppers, these dudes who literally are the reason you show up to watch the game. The Giannis's, the De'Aaron Fox, these dudes are ballers. I watched Ja whoop my Timberwolves in 6 games, right? And I'm like, this dude is a top 5 player in the league if he keeps his shit together. Whoops.
Well,
right, dude.
Yes. Okay. Somebody got a lawyer on speed dial. Shit. I don't know, Matt. What do you think about John Morant and his bullshit?
I mean, I'm obviously not a professional athlete in any sport. I don't understand what it's like to live the lifestyle that these guys live at when they're playing at the high level that they're playing at. But I just can't imagine that I would ever flash a gun out in public on Instagram Live or anything.
Felony,
just
by the way, brandishing a firearm, like actually showing it off. It's a felony in like most states.
But like, I just feel like sometimes just, I don't know if athletes just don't just come to the realization like, hey, I'm a high profile guy. Everybody knows who I am. If I show a gun for remotely a half a second on an Instagram Live video, probably like 30,000 people minimum are going to watch that or whatever. And it's just like,
yeah, go ahead, Matt. Sorry.
Nah, I was just pretty much just gonna say, just along the lines of like, there's just no defending these antics and what he's been doing. It's just, you just at the end of the day, I know it's easy for guys like us to speak on the matter because we don't live the lifestyle. But at the end of the day, I think it's just common sense to just not flash a gun. I'm not a high profile athlete. We probably don't have 30,000 people obviously watching this right now, but you don't see me whipping a gun out on this live video. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, think about all of the little kids who are John Morant fans, right? Let's say John Morant's my favorite NBA player, and I get that notification that he's going live on Instagram. I'm gonna check it out, and this dude's just flashing like pistols on live. it's not very sensible. Hopefully, this is the last time that we have to bring him up in this light, or anyone in the media, honestly. And this is kind of like the last straw. You know what I mean? Who knows when he's going to return to the team? I mean, they've been losing games left and right, so I would assume that the Grizzlies want this guy to chill and do whatever he's got to do quickly, because they're finals is probably on their mind. So hopefully this dude learns his lesson. It didn't really amount to anything except for him missing some basketball games, but yeah, very stupid.
Fair enough. All right. Last but not least, this one's funny. Sean Kemp. Anybody know who the Rain Man is?
Oh,
anybody got him? Anybody? No.
Yeah,
Sean Kemp's in the news. And the worst part is, I literally had a rip ready for this guy about 3 hours ago, and I completely forgot because of how stressed I've been about a lot of shit in my life. I completely forgot the notes for it. But, hold on 1 second. I'm going to make sure I pull this up again because I know I have this in my notes somewhere. Total mindfuck. Sean Kemp.
His game developed.
Released after shooting. No chart. So, look, another guy shooting a gun.
And the video is crazy. Like, if you have not seen that video, that is like violent. Like, that is crazy. He just walks that dude down and just caps him. Like, crazy stuff.
Ladies and gentlemen, when in doubt, Twitter will find this video for me. Bro, holy shit.
In his real NBA life.
I'm going to retweet this on the Corner Booth account. Retweet it. Jesus Christ.
Graphic.
Like, what the hell's wrong with you?
I mean, I want to know what the beef was, dude. I really do, because
also, bro, like, you the Rain Man, like, you're NBA royalty. Just like relax, enjoy your life, man.
Like, you're supposed to get a better shot in your basketball game, not in your post basketball life. You're supposed to be a better shooter on the court, not off the court. Like, what's this?
Damn, bro, chill.
Too real, too soon.
I mean, listen, I tried to get you and Josh from Rising the Cage on the same show because y'all are the same kind of humor where it's just like it's all common. There's just like a hidden haymaker. You're just like, wait, what? And then Josh had to back out because Kansas traffic is brutal.
You see Jake
I didn't
Paul
know they had cars in
from,
Kansas.
sprint away from Mayweather. You see that video?
Oh God.
Jake Paul was just like chilling, and his crew ran up on him, and he just sprinted. It was funny. And then you see a little 5'5" Mayweather going after him.
I don't know what it was there because I wasn't there, but if I got rolled up on by double-digit people, I'm not going to sit around and find out later as well. It's like, I'm going to walk away from this as well because I'm not Batman. This isn't a TV show. I can't fight 12 guys at once. I don't care. I don't care if I'm tough as shit. I'm not taking on 12 people at once. That is 24 different fists that can come from any different angle. Like, this isn't the Matrix. I'm not Anderson Silva. My head does not move like that.
Well said. Very well said.
Like, fuck that.
Yeah.
Unless I got Sean Kemp behind me, then I feel a little bit safer. That's not the case.
I got Sean Kemp and Ja Morant, dude.
Bro, like, you got nothing. And listen, Joe Mixon out here dropping small targets. Here we go.
But I say, he's like, let me come back with my crew. And he has Sean Kemp, John Morant, Joe Mixon. Then he's like, and all of a sudden you just see like the NWO music drop, and freaking OJ Simpson just comes out the curtains.
I'm walking away then. Even if they're on my side, I'm walking away because I do not know what's happening next. I do not want to be an accomplice or see what goes on. I'm getting out of Dodge.
All right.
Allegedly,
right? All right. So, it's what anybody else feel to me right now? Okay, so March Madness. So Mace, you're an Oklahoma basketball fan too, right?
Absolutely, yeah, man. Everything Sooners, dude.
Maddie, are you anything college, or you just don't give a fuck about college ball?
I'm not a big college basketball kind of guy. Not gonna lie to you.
What do you root for? Like North Montana, Western State, or what?
Well, hold on now. North Montana, Western State's not real, so I will not take that blasphemy. This isn't Blue Mountain State shit. Now you don't get to just pull things out of a cornfield. But normally when it comes to March Madness, I don't really have like a direct rooting interest. I just love watching the chaos as well too. Living in Iowa for a few years, always a little partial with Iowa and Iowa State, but like not like a vetted rooting interest because they choke all the time. But I just kind of enjoy the chaos.
Andre Kane, man, that was the dude.
I'm a big NE10 guy. Have you heard of it?
Shut up. Our college doesn't deserve any respect. They robbed me of 80 grand.
Ooh, what? Oh,
my degree's worthless.
Jesus. Oh, that. Yes, I agree.
Yeah. See, Matt agrees too. Me and Matt, our college owes us money.
I'm in a construction / engineering field for the railroad, and I have a sports management background.
Yeah, I am a journalism major with a minor in sport, with a focus in sports broadcasting and a minor in sports management. You know what my job is? I sell rocks to masons. I was joking. My buddy, he grew up in Harlem, and I'm like, yeah, dude, I sell rocks for a living. He goes, if you weren't white, that'd have a whole different conversation. And I'm like, yo, fair. That's the most real shit I ever heard.
Questioned after saying that.
But my point is, we talk about how like anticlimactic this college basketball tournament's been this year so far, like the lead up to it. Like nobody gives a shit.
It feels like it's been brushed under the rug a little bit as well too. I think part of it is there's not like one team that you look at. It's like, oh, there's your dynastic team. There's not like the Kentucky team that was undefeated with Karl Anthony Towns and squad, or like.
Or we thought my North Carolina Tar Heels, the only North Carolina team I claim, which is their basketball team, which should have been like running through the ACC, but just thought they were gonna just coast back in, and the rest of the ACC said, "Bitch, hold my beer."
Yeah, it's just I don't feel like there's not the one team that stands out. Everyone's like, can they make it or will they get upset? It feels like the field's a little too open for getting hyped up right now, if that makes sense. Normally there's one or two teams at the top where they put them on the opposite ends and it's supposed to be a clash of titans, and some Middle Eastern North Montana State tiny ass school gets in the way and ruins it for everybody. Just some George Mason shit.
All I know is that I am trying to find if DraftKings will. By the way, we are now proudly sponsored by DraftKings. By the way, join now, deposit $5, get $200 of free bets. Like, come on, like it's a whole fucking brainer. Right now, our licensing, we just got approved finally for New Jersey. It took us 3 months, but we got it. Fucking shithole state. I hate New Jersey, and I have family who lives there. It's the one state where I'm actually happy I live in Connecticut over.
That's fair. It's a Jersey
But
thing.
either way, boys, it's about 8:10. It's time for me to call some circulation to my legs. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time as I knock over my Cattell Marte bobblehead. It's time for the Corner Booth Dartboard, presented by the amazing people at candidates.com. Promo code BELLYUP 20% off. This is the new what they're calling this the peach flavor. I think it's called Real Peach. Except for the fact that one of the pouches blew up in here, so there's grinds all over through this, which because I'm a degenerate, I might still like try to scrounge together and pack like a fucking loose lip. Don't judge me. This flavor slaps. I love this company. They told me my shit was going to be here Friday, and then next Tuesday. And I walked in and it was on my desk. I was like, hell yeah. Amazing stuff. I'm about to pop a pouch right now in honor. But folks, you know what it is. I'm about to lose circulation in my left leg today. But the boys have all prepared guys they're mad at, and I am happy to oblige. Gentlemen, we all have 5 minutes plus to talk about it. Matthew, you're on the board. Negative football fans, explain yourself.
Listen, anybody that's been on Facebook, I've been advocatingly just posting everything about Aaron Rodgers. Pictures of him in Jets uniforms, positive vibes only. Have a great Thursday from your future quarterback in the New York Jets, Aaron Rodgers. So many people. Not Mason, but other Patriots fans. Then there's Dallas fans chiming in. Then there's some Pittsburgh fans or just any of those fans. Some Raiders fans. What is the common trend with all those teams? They all have a fuck ton of championships in their calibers, winning seasons, the whole nine. I don't want to hear it. you have not dealt with the Jets are on a level of the Browns. Like if you look at teams besides the Browns that are just a shit show, the Jets are top tier right there with you. Listen, my team does not have any sort of proven track record of developing quarterbacks. I'm past the whole drafting a rookie right now. Didn't work with Zach Wilson with this regime. Didn't work with Sam Darnold with the past regime. Didn't completely work out with Mark Sanchez. It didn't work out with Geno Smith. I don't know what else everybody wants us to do. Aaron Rodgers is there for the taking. It would be an immense upgrade at that position for us, even though he's 39 years old. Lamar Jackson would be a tremendous upgrade for us as well. This team needs to do everything it can to get a veteran, and I don't understand why people have such negativity about it.
They're jealous.
Maybe so, but I mean, go point to me a quarterback since Joe Namath that's been successful in this league and has won things for the team. Go point to me a rookie quarterback that we've gotten, that we've developed and has been a star. You can't. You just can't. So the answer is to get somebody, and that guy at this moment is Rodgers. So I'm throwing all of those negative fans with their beautiful 5 championship rings, 3 championship rings, and their trophy cases that are telling me that I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Chad Pennington was fun for a little bit. I mean,
Chad Pennington was a fun time.
It was
So
fun.
was the
That
ghost of
42-yard
Brett Favre
cannon
in
was
the franchise.
Maybe if he had a mechanical neck, we would have won something, but that man's just could not stay there. I've got him for
He could be
days.
a lion with Joey Harrington.
that 45-yard Hail Mary bomb that he could throw was something special.
Right to Wayne Corbett's 5'8" ass. All right.
Oh man.
Mace. Why is Draymond? He's already a human meme as himself. Why is he on your dartboard?
Yeah, so for those that don't know, I'll just preface this with so I'm a Rockets fan. I'm from Houston originally, so I'm a Rockets fan.
I'm sorry.
So yeah, it sucks right now, but not too long ago in the past, the Rockets were kind of perennially, annually battling with the Warriors dynasty team. So I became very used to the Warriors beating us. I think of all athletes across the board, I despise Steph Curry. He is like my least favorite athlete, period. I hate him. So for those who haven't been following the Warriors Grizzlies beef kind of started last year in the playoffs, and then kind of was rekindled after Ja put out the whole I'm fine in the West. I don't have to worry about anyone besides Boston. They're the only team we're gonna have to get past to win an NBA championship. This week, I guess leading up to tonight's Grizzlies-Warriors game, Dylan Brooks essentially said, I don't like Draymond. This dude runs his mouth way too much. He doesn't really do anything on the court. He's not particularly good at anything on the floor. And he's just living, in the good old days. He still thinks he's, the enforcer or whatever, and that the Warriors are still a dynasty. So Draymond went on his podcast, kind of let Brooks hear it. Basically told him, like, man, like, if you watched me win too and just dominate, I'd be salty too. And, I just want to update everyone. The score of the game is 50-35 Memphis. Memphis dropped 48 in the first quarter. So it sounds like Draymond kind of got what was coming for him.
Mace,
And yeah, dude, I despise everything about the Warriors. I enjoy seeing them lose just as much as seeing my team win.
Mace.
So I'd love it if the jawless Grizzlies just beat Golden State by 20 plus tonight. That would make my day.
Better not ruin my parlay.
Mace, I love you. I love your Rockets. Okay, shouts to you, franchise, and my boy T-Mac. Fuck you, James Harden, you strip club loving motherfucker. It's okay. I still love James Harden as a person. It's a regular season game. Okay, listen. The Grizzlies are about to get clapped by every team 7 through like whatever every ranking, not them, because the problem is they're not just pissing off the Warriors, they're pissing off everybody because they're acting
And
like
I
they're
like
the,
that, dude.
they're
Like if
acting
that
like
was
the
my
bad
team,
boy
man.
Pistons when they just won one series. They beat Minnesota in 6 because the Timberwolves can't close because Cat's a pussy.
I mean, hey man, let's be honest, dude. That Warriors run last year, they beat Boston fair and square, but that path to the finals, man, there was a lot of injuries on opposing teams.
It's okay because here's the thing. The West is a fucking meat grinder this year. The East is not much easier. It's going to be a real fun NBA playoffs. I'm actually excited for the NBA playoffs this year. But listen, the Grizzlies, the only reason they advanced is because the Timberwolves needed a change in management. And that leads me to my dartboard of the week. This bitch ass.
I've been alluding to it all show. It's finally here.
Oh man.
Oh my God. I am done with Karl Anthony Towns, man. He's been injured with a torn. I'm not going to say this on live air because I am not trying to get canceled. He has torn whatever the hell he tore, whether it was his ego, groin, labrum, I don't care. Can we just trade him for like, I don't know, anything? A small forward, maybe could we get like Andrew Wiggins back or something? Like shit. I think all Timberwolves fans owe Jimmy Butler an apology because of how much of a bitch Cat is. I'm done with this shit. The second he started dating a Kardashian, I knew it was over. Or a Kardashian adjacent. With Jordan Wood. Listen, Jordan Wood, she's a fine woman. Absolutely gorgeous. Here's the thing. If you are associated with that clan, I do not want to talk about it. All right? Listen, Karl Anthony Towns, you have the talent of Kevin Garnett, but you have the intensity of a golden retriever. This is why you will never be more than a B-plus center, because you do not know how to kill. Joel Embiid will always be better than you because that motherfucker grew up on the streets of whatever African country he's from. This is no disrespect. I just know he's from Africa. I am just not going to try to be like a jackass and be ignorant about it. Joel Embiid grew up with a hard background. So did Jokic. So did Gobert. These dudes have hurt. These dudes know how to fight. You are soft, my friend. And listen, it is horrible what happened to you during COVID with your mother dying. It is the worst thing of all time. My heart bled for you, man, because you were one of my favorite players. But then you let the 6'4" guard from Georgia come in and just rip your team out. Dude, it's Ant's team now. You better be happy playing second fiddle. We traded your weenie little photographer buddy D-Lo to the Lakers so they can miss the playoffs by 2 games. I'm telling you right now, man. Cat took a backseat this season. The fact he's in no rush to get back. Don't come back. We'll trade your ass. We're going to be a second round exit. It's fine. We'll beat whoever we beat first round. Semifinals, we get our ass kicked. We'll trade your ass for somebody who actually wants to play. This is Ant Edwards' team now, you bitch. No, I'm done with it. Listen. I love the Timberwolves because of Kevin Garnett. Because Kevin Garnett was a fighter. That dude was mean. He told Charlie Villanueva he was cancer to his team. What kind of sick bastard does that to a man who has alopecia? That's fucked. But I appreciate the gamesmanship. He told Carmelo Anthony his wife tasted like Cheerios.
Damn.
That's ruthless, okay?
Sounds like a Golden Tate. Sounds like a Golden Tate Russell Wilson situation.
Damn straight. Here we go. So here's the thing, right? Minnesota likes their tough guys. And Edwards fits the bill. Even Kevin Love, pre-LeBron James bullying him to death, fit the bill. That dude was a walking double-double every game. That's a tough guy stat. Cat never fit that bill, man. He always seems soft to me. Same thing with Wig. I love Wig, but it ain't worth it. But Cat, you on my dartboard, man. You ride all in your giant-ass ego, Kardashian-loving ass. Right here. DJ, you're finishing it up. Take it away, my friend.
Yeah, well, tough to follow that up. So I'm keeping mine quick and sweet and to the point.
Nice.
I'm yelling at Francis Ngannou this week simply because you robbed us of what would have been the greatest UFC fight of all time by leaving the UFC when you did as well, too. You and John Jones at heavyweight were supposed to throw down. This was supposed to be your guys' clash of titans, and then you went silent and left. So then John Jones got the easiest title fight win of his career, and you're sitting here afterwards kind of talking a little bit of shit as well, too. Francis, good for you doing what you got to do, but you ruined what could have been the greatest fight ever by not sticking around for one more fight. We just needed one more.
Listen, DJ, I'm not going to be a spoiler here. My boy Johnny B would have still kicked his fucking ass.
It would have been, we would have all been on the edge of our seats for that first round, though, the way Francis pulls into the galaxy.
Listen, Matt knows my love of John Jones is rival to my love of the Hurricanes and the Philadelphia Eagles. Johnny Bones walks into my house. I cook this man a 5-course meal just for like stepping on my doorstep. That's how much I love that man.
That's fair, and I think he wins, especially when he gets a hold of him. But during those first couple of minutes when they're in space and Francis has space to throw nuclear warhammers, everyone's going to be like, oh, is it going to land?
Everyone forgets that John can throw haymakers too, man.
Oh, I never saying John wins. I'm saying the intensity of those first few minutes, like buttholes would be puckered, people would be sweating, they'd be on the edge of their seats, the popcorn would be spilling.
This is why I need to have you on the show like every week, man. Buttholes will be puckered. Perfect.
Can we get that in the opening video?
It'll be like the kickoff of the Super Bowl. Everyone is not ready.
I'm gonna, actually, for the intro video that will be debuting in a few weeks, I'm going to save that quote right now. Buttholes will be puckered. I
need to get a clip of that and put that on our TikTok. That is amazing.
Right? I will find that video if I can find a fucking pen right now. Whatever. Matt, remember, hour and 20 minutes.
You know what's even
for mine as well too. When I said I'm not that thick, though, I'm here for intro clips.
You know, it just even makes the situation just more depressing is that it's just 50-50. Like Dana White came out and said that he offered him the highest paying contract, I believe it was, in UFC history for a heavyweight. But he was fighting for, we all know UFC is just, they don't take care of their fighters. So he was fighting for sponsorships. I think he wanted like some sort of like fighters union, maybe if I'm not mistaken. I know he wanted better benefits and so like he fought for legit reasons that would not only benefit him but the entire roster. So I commend him to going to bat for the fighters. But when you just break it down and you had to fucking watch Cyril Gane just almost looked like he just gave it up. Like he didn't even try. He was there to get the quick bag. And he's like, listen, I'm not going to beat John Jones. So here's a fucking 1 minute and 20 second type finish right there. I guess I'm just happy that they didn't.
John Jones was there to win, and you can see that right away as well. It's like he was there to participate where John was there to win.
Listen, John Jones is a once-in-a-lifetime generational fighter who not only can beat you standing up, but can just take you down. He can do
Matthew.
Everything. No, he is the greatest UFC fighter of all time. He is the number one. He is the number one fighter in UFC history. And it's I don't know, man. He's once in a lifetime kind of a fighter, but it's just like, it really fucking bugs me that they put these bullshit fights together because I just want to see some action. Like this guy he's just polished, and I can't wait for the Stipe fight in July. I am pumped.
If Stipe's not shot, if he's not like 40 and his career's just not over, like his chin's not shot, that should be a hell of a matchup. I'm worried about the damage he's taken though.
My two favorite fights that John Jones ever fought were Cormier round 2, when he basically was getting whooped by Cormier, and then Cormier slipped up, and it looked like a great white shark hitting a carcass. It was brutal. And then the Gustafsson fight. Holy shit. That fight was amazing. I never yelled so loud my boy got the dub. And Matt, I think I told you this story before. The reason I'm a John Jones fan is because he was the only, I heard this dude's name before randomly on like random NFL podcasts because his brothers Chandler and Art. And I'm like, oh, cool. I'm going to root for somebody who's an NFL player for brothers. And then I didn't realize how good he was. And so I was like all in on John Jones because I'm like, I'm going to stick to my guns here. And then he ends up being like, the greatest fighter of all time. And I'm like, oh, this is cool. I actually picked the winning side for once.
His dad,
weirdly enough, before I even got in the sport, I knew him. I was like, I like that guy. Then I find out he's like, oh, he's that dude. Oh shit, good job, DJ. High five, good pick. It's better than all your other picks as well.
Yeah, that's how I felt about my Diamondbacks, my Timberwolves, even my D-backs. By the way, catch me on 1420 Sports. I am going to be doing a D-backs preview with our boy Brent. Shout out to 1420 Sports for having me on next week. He'll be bragging about how much Corbin Carroll is going to win the NL Rookie of the Year. Zach Galen's going to be an NL Cy Young candidate, and the Diamondbacks are going to be this last wildcard team in. Here we go.
I aspire to be the father that John Jones' father is. Like, this man, he's got 2 kids that are both Super Bowl champions in Art Jones and in Chandler Jones. And then you got John Jones, who's just the greatest MMA fighter in UFC history, multiple championships. Like, this guy has breeded the elitist of elite talent that you can have as kids. Like, it's just
that gene pool is going to produce nothing but like Pro Bowl and like all pro athletes.
Dude, I swear, if they have kids and those guys and they grow up to be like chess artists, oh man, they would just be like, oh man, can you just play you gotta play baseball?
Listen, anything's better than an insurance agent.
That is true.
That's my job for a year. Well, gentlemen, it has been a pleasure rolling with y'all for the season 9 premiere, live premiere. If you missed our kickoff, a regular podcast, myself and Mason shared it through our various socials. Good conversation about our favorite quarterback prospects. On Monday, we have special guests coming through. A good friend of mine. I'm not going to name names yet. He is a fellow friend of the podcast. I'm going to chat with him over the weekend, see if he wants to talk some NFL running backs. If not, we'll just we'll do the running back rankings before it comes on. I am ecstatic to have our first guest of the year. And of course, DJ, you don't even count as a guest anymore. You basically are part of our live shows. Like if you said to me, like, hey, Jared, I just want to do Thursday shows with you because it's fun, I'd be like, bet, you're welcome anytime. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, DJ of Hilo Sports, the Daniel Jeremiah C3PO and Jonathan Gannon bobblehead. Even though I'd rather have you call defensive plays.
I'll take the other ones, but after the Super Bowl cross up, Jonathan, that one's an insult.
Listen, I want Jonathan Gannon's head in a spike. I'd rather have you call defense for us.
I'll do
the
it.
fact that half his players ripped him after he took the job in Arizona tells me all I need to know. And also, of course, my amazing 2 co-hosts, who I can't thank enough for the world for, Mason and Matt. It took me 7 seasons to find 2 good co-hosts. I appreciate these 2 both wholeheartedly. I hope the 2 of them realize how much I appreciate them. But, ladies and gentlemen, we are back for season 9. We will see you on Monday with our special guest. I'll just say it's Frank Michael Smith. It's my dog from TikTok. That's my dude right there. We're going to talk some football, some Pittsburgh sports, his experiences with dealing with NBA, with TikTok and sports media, as well as just a lot of fun stuff. Look forward to a lot of great guests on the Corner Booth this year. And, of course, next Thursday, DJ, all 4 of us actually will be back for the Corner Booth Stone Cold Steve Austin special, a.k.a. Jared's birthday episode, where we are just going to have a ton of fun. I got Angelo Duke coming through. I got DJ hopefully coming through for a little bit. I've got hopefully Kevin, a few other friends. It's going to be a good time. Also, we have the conference tournament. With the NCAA tournament kicking off that night or the night after or before, whatever. Either way, it's going to be a good time. Thank you all for stopping by. Enjoy your Friday. Pray for me that I get an appointment with the DMV so I don't have to drive with a suspended license. And shout out to our sponsors, Yeats. Hold on. Yeats, Canada Dips. This peach slaps. If it wasn't for one of the bags breaking, this is my favorite flavor. Ladies and gentlemen, hope you have a great night and enjoy. Peace.